Hello everybody, my name is Brian Downing, and I'm going to talk to you about, I guess you could say, being torn in the world of development, quant trading, quant research, and all that. So let's talk about Python directly and the impact it's having on the business of trade, or basically very generally finance, and where I'm at with it in my little beady little head. I always got my little hamster in my brain going through the hamster wheel. It's just, I don't know. Anyways, let's just talk about it through a video. It's easier. Alright, so back about 2 weeks ago, somebody sent me an email really around this topic. How people are dropping MATLAB replacing with Python for their quant research, prototyping, and then also using Python and C++ in their environment. You hear about that a lot. It's been like that for years, and I agree with that. And there's some mentions of some Python packages, what makes it really good. And again, these are all free. Okay, so I thought, hey, why not investigate this? And this person brought about some very interesting resources that makes it the learning easier, and I agree with a lot of it, but Python's a very last piece of my puzzle, I guess you could say, outside of the pure math itself, the algorithms, and just learning the high school level and somewhat even a university level calculus, algebra, and stats, and other types of probability. I could go on about it. Even physics to a certain degree. So I'm going to do that as a separate video on my thoughts on that. But I just wanted to focus in this particular video about Python and the impact it's having on trading houses and banks all the way down to the little garage type operations. So one thing needs to be clear about how I work. I've got literally quite a lot of people in my community that follow me. It's probably in the number of thousands of people. I'm not here to brag about that. I don't really. It's important to me, but it's not how I choose. I allow people to influence me, and that's important. And this is a clear cut proof of that. So here's the genesis of it all about Python, MATLAB, and over the time I've been using MATLAB, .NET, C#, and all that, and I'm fascinated with those languages, and I put together courses and all that built around it. I'll even probably do some other videos on that, so keep your eyes out. And there's some other interesting areas that I think Microsoft themselves are trying to be the cool company, and honestly, the benefits of what they're bringing to the table is quite amazing. This Channel 9 on about Python. Also things like what Microsoft's offering for Visual Studio with the Python tools, Iron Python itself, and Microsoft's behind this, and I've always liked what Microsoft's trying to do with Python, to be the cool company to integrate a powerful and popular language. Now here's my dilemma with these type of tools. Well, let's talk about just, again, I'm not a Python expert and I don't claim to be. But what I'm finding is that there's these two movements between Python, was it 2.7 and 3.3, these data scientists, the web language developers, and it seems the language is being torn apart. And then there's this newer languages coming out of it called Julia, just purely for data science. I'm going to talk about other languages in my view of it, but that's the dilemma of Python and just this open source movement, that there's not one voice behind a really powerful environment, not just a language, but environment of Python. So Microsoft seems to be doing some really cool stuff with it, and you got to give them kudos for trying. Even if it's good or bad, it doesn't matter. And then there's these two paths. Now again, the criticism I have, and I think even Microsoft has admitted, that these tools like the PTVS, Python Tools for Visual Studio, is not 100% compatible with a lot of the stuff evolving in Python as a language, as an environment, and all that. Iron Python's another dilemma. It just is not quite up there. But I mean, it's there. The same person brought about this IDE. I guess they're equivalent of Revolution Analytics or something like that for R. And this Canopy product, which is basically an IDE, where let me just pull up the pricing on this. Yeah, just give me a second here. Bad gateway. Ooh. Let me try again. Let's try. No. Ooh. Not good. I don't know. I'm not an expert on that. But anyways, it was free. They have an express version of this software, and it's an IDE. Okay, I don't know. I'm just pointing this out. So there's some really cool things coming out of the world of Python. Okay, that's cool. Now, again, this is my blog here, and just the recent stuff I posted about Python. I've been highly interested in Python. Now, this is another good resource somebody pointed out. This one right here, this book. Okay, I'll put all the links into my. That's going to point back to about this video. Will point back to this link right here. So I'll put all these URLs in there with the video. So there's that with that IDE, this Enthought Canopy. Cool. I mean, that will make life easier. But there is a free edition, which is cool. And then what else was there? Oh, yes, the reads. So there's this book about wrangling with pandas, NumPy, and Iron Python. Okay, again, I'm not an expert. I'm just pointing these out. Now, let's talk about Python versus other languages. This is where I kind of probably haven't paid a lot of attention to Python. There's this guy did I guess you call it a smackdown between SAS, SAS, R, and Python. And to be honest, MATLAB can easily be substituted for SAS. I mean, I do think MATLAB is way more popular than SAS, but the logic is the same. So basically what I took away from it is when you're with Python or R, you're on your own, there's no support. I think the other big criticism, I can't remember some of the criticism, but check out this link. It was very fascinating. So now I'm kind of torn on this, and the reason I'm saying torn is because when I talk about Python, these are the reactions I get. I'm glad that Brian is a new Python convert. I'm not a Python convert. I'm looking at it. I'm interested in it. I haven't done any coding with Python, but here's another one. A person from Switzerland, which I hope to be will be my future home one day. Anyways, they're looking at Python, and the reaction that I put out on this particular email was really positive. And whenever I do anything on Python itself, I get quite a large reaction, which tells me from a marketing standpoint for this business, quantlabs.net, and call it my academy or whatever, this little thing, if I was just to talk about trading in Python, that alone is being on a path to being very wealthy, I would imagine. That's from a marketing standpoint alone, Python's worth investigating and blogging about, and just maybe doing this, Python and C++. But that brings me to another dilemma I come across. Python and C++ are very powerful, but let's talk about people and what they do with these languages and these environments versus those that are doing well in trading and are systematic traders, okay? And I'll give you my point of view on that. Okay, so when you get people like this, they're doing well, they're encouraging me to learn, and I appreciate that. The question, though, is where I get torn is it's really important for me to know what are the reasons for using Python. I mean, I know highly successful people that use MATLAB. Ernie Chan's one of them, and he's one of the more profitable traders. Another trader that actually runs a full-on shop, call it a hedge fund if you will. We did an exclusive video with the person a few days ago, and I'll just leave it at he does very well, and I talk to him about all this all the time. The thing is that with Python and .NET, let's just say, which this other person uses .NET C#, purely is just because it's easy to use and you get stuff done faster. I cannot agree with that more. So do you get caught up in the buzziness of things like Python, or do you focus on things that will get the job done faster? And again, MATLAB is another one where I feel the same way. I get stuff done faster. If you've been following me for a while, you probably know I've been looking also at F#, which is another interesting language. And I'm thinking over time, I think F# over time will take over at least all the newer scripting, functional programming languages. And I've been tracking this for the last 7 months. Now that we're in July, and I've been tracking this for a while. But really, every so often, I've been tracking MATLAB, F#, C# to see where they all stand. And here's what I found. If you go to TO, I guess TO, whatever, this company, this is the leading index for understanding language popularity. You know, we have C# holding its own, Python's holding its own, TSQL, which is basically the database language for SQL Server, has been gaining steam for a long time. I'm just surprised, and I'm very fascinated with that language. I posted some articles and postings about that for just housing data, and I think SQL Server is probably the smarter choice from my perspective. Now here's the interesting part. It's F#. I mentioned this, and F# is not just only getting steam, but it's now very close to being in the top 10. Okay, and you can see this was at number 18 about 2 months ago. So it's gaining steam very quickly, and it's very close to reaching the top 10. And from a financial world, a lot of companies are using it in London because of the functional programming language world. And F# seems to be the language of choice. And I think that's a clear reason why. It's just, you can just leverage off of the community and the framework of .NET, which is pretty powerful in itself. Now, I know there's a lot of people like to bash Microsoft, but I'm going to be honest, I think those kind of people got to get over the fact that Microsoft's really coming about in the last year, 2 years, putting out really, really cool stuff from a development standpoint, especially coming from a guy who's leading the ship now of Satya Nadella. I think a lot of us feel that this guy's brilliant and will go down, I think, at least from a software engineering point of view, as the Steve Jobs of software over the next few years. And this is pretty evident right here, this F# growth. So, you know, when you look at MATLAB, it's dropped off a little bit, and that's fine. That's my preferred way of prototyping model and algorithm development. You know, but when you look at other languages like R, it's bouncing around, but it's just not going anywhere. And I've played around with R. I like R. It's got some big advantages, but if you haven't heard, Microsoft is doing some very interesting things with Azure, their cloud solution, with F#, and at the same time being able to use something like 300 packages from R. I cannot believe that combination is unbelievable. And then we got MATLAB itself probably scared of that combination of what Microsoft's really pumping out. Then you get Scala again, Erlang. I mean, I hear about these languages. I personally don't see them being really part of the radar. I think these languages have to be part of the radar, especially when they start hitting the top 10. And these are the important languages. Like, again, Java's out there. You know, I've worked with Java. I know Java, but again, it's not part of my conversation, at least unless I absolutely need to, in terms of legacy type of projects. No different than some of the cool stuff I've seen with Go. Where is it? Right here. And some Scala in that, but again, I think the languages to really work with it need to be in the top 10. But again, F# is very close to that now. So let's go back to Python. Python is interesting with C++, but I think I'm going to conclude it with one very simple answer. And this link right here is what really changes my view of F sharp, again, see how it's growing with this pretty popular link. Now again, I'm not an expert in Python. I will learn Python at some point, but I'm going to be upfront. I don't see myself heavily using it. I think it will be more F sharp, and it's this link that's making me realize why. Okay, let's talk about it. We have an interpreter with Python. I don't know about that. I thought Python has an interpreter. It's through the command line session shell. I don't know, but okay, I guess they have that. Now, this is a functional programming language. It's got .NET as its library, as I mentioned, and that's pretty important. It's built around OCaml. Don't matter to me, whatever that means. Python's heavily integrated, close compatibility with C and C++. That matters. I think that's a big selling feature of Python. Now here's where F sharp really makes the difference between this and this. Okay, F sharp has this typical decades-old object-oriented programming, multi-paradigm, but this is where F sharp really shines. It makes me go, huh, maybe I should put more investment in F sharp. Not only for the .NET, but you got the concurrency programming built in, and this is what I'm really fascinated with, the agent programming. I've done and I've seen demos of this. This is the future of programming with true multi-threading capabilities for, let's say you want to run experimental 3D surface plots in real time. F sharp brings us out of the box. Functional programming. And I think the concurrency with the parallelism that F sharp has out of box, I don't know if Python is as mature as this out of box and as easily. I don't know. I can't say. And again, I open it up to people to give me their opinion. It's really important on my decision of where I go. Okay, so operating system. Do I really care if it's Windows or let's say Linux? To me, no, it doesn't matter. And I say that because I've got verification from multiple sources that the new Windows Server 2012, the performance of it is unbelievably quick. It's just one of the smartest software engineering products out there as an operating system. And again, that's something I'm really looking forward to investigating. So let's talk about database compatibility. ADO.NET for F sharp on its own is very powerful. That's obviously going to tighten the integration with a very solid database with something like SQL Server. Now, it's not about being a Microsoft shop, and yes, they do give me free pizza and free Microsoft coffee cups at their headquarters. And that's about it. So I'm not having Microsoft pay my mortgage or flying me around in helicopters to Monte Carlo sponsored by Microsoft. That's not happening, folks. Sorry to disappoint you. But again, going back to the database, when you look at this chart, again, on programming languages, you need to explain to me why is now Transact SQL in the top 10 now. And again, my view is if you're in the top 10, you're a language that matters. And here you are, TSQL, top 10, and that is the language, the proprietary language of SQL Server, and that can be tightly integrated also with F sharp. Now again, let's not just stop there. But again, let's talk about Excel as a front end, and because it's all Microsoft. Again, we're not here to rah about Microsoft, but it just brings about the development of things like databases, front end tools like Excel, and also with F sharp. That really you go, wow, that's important. So let's talk about these databases. I've done months and months looking at these databases. So I'll give you my view in a nutshell. ADO.NET, that allows me to open it up, obviously, to SQL Server. SQLite, it's fast, but there's some big problems with that database. You can't do multiple writes. Maybe it's changed, I don't know. But this is an interesting one. I've always liked this database. It's open source. I would say, if I had to choose between MySQL and Postgres, based on this, I would dump MySQL and just go with Postgres. End of story. Now, there's also the Maria database, which is which is apparently the new fork version of the true non-Oracle backed database. So that's Maria. Now, all these other databases, let's talk Couch, Mongo, SQLite I mentioned, Memcached. When it comes to the world of trading, I don't know if these really matter. I played around with NoSQL. I got a guy who worked with Mongo. It's a very powerful database, but at the end of the day, I think you really want to go crazy with it. You got to develop your own database, basically. But I think this is another interesting option: is ADONet with F# using opening it up to SQL Server. So I don't know. I think these databases are falling off. When you look at the languages. PSQL is the Oracle one. Let me just do a search for that. SQL, I don't know, whatever. Let's get beyond that. So back to our comparison. Now, again, the framework, the Django. Who cares? That's a web framework. .NET, that's a different story. Difficulty language, yeah, it's intermediate, but whatever. Object-oriented, doesn't matter. Machine code generation. This could be a big selling feature for Python. Documentation. Okay, maybe Python's a lot more mature. Look, it's been out a lot longer than F#. Influence. Who cares about that? Dynamic typing. All this doesn't really matter. Scripting language support F#, free to use, yes. Backend, .NET, C#. What? That doesn't make sense. That backend for Python. Blah, 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 blah. Reliability. Now this is interesting. Python is not reliable. I mean, it's getting 4, but F# seems to be more reliable. This piqued my interest. Why? Now, if I was to say my experience with the R world and Python, guess what, folks? This is probably true because, I mean, what commercial vendor is out there backing Python? Who's out there supporting these packages let's see, NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, SciPy? Who's backing those? Who's this is the danger of using a language like Python. Where am I? Yeah, right here. That's the danger. It's not a future-proof language. I've talked about this many times. This is why I think you're getting this great divide between 2.3 and 3.3. Sorry, 2.7 and 3.3 on Python, I guess. When I look at R, it's getting torn apart. The packages are not up to date with the core language, and that's a huge problem. Okay, here, I don't have to worry about that because it's leveraging off of the .NET run by Microsoft. That is a huge advantage. Now, again, if people from the open source world of Microsoft bashers and haters, you know what? Go ahead, be my guest, bash it. But I like to keep my hair and use something that's future-proof, which are evidently you become more reliable, and it's easier on your stress. And I can speak from my experience with R versus something like .NET and the world of MATLAB. That's why I went back to it. I was really curious on R, but I really think I'm going to end up, if I was to go down the path of Python, I think I will, experiment with it. Yeah, there's some useful things, and yeah, maybe I may do something, but I just think I'll be putting more and more time in F#. Man. Okay, reliability API. I think the good will become excellent in no time as this, where is it? F#. As this gets more popular, I think that will just come out naturally. Job opportunities, it's the same. Out-of-box functionality. Why is it 100% global votes? Was it because it's .NET and it's got Visual Studio ready to go? Maybe. I can guarantee you that this canopy will be amateur hour versus something that's coming out of the Visual Studio world. No argument there. Ease of use, I could see that. Okay, free, yeah, duck typing, JVM. Oh boy, do you really want to go down that JVM path? Ooh, I wouldn't want to go down there. Obviously, CLR, open source, event support, all the power important things. It's all the same. I'm only looking for things that are different. Closures, iOS development support. Ooh, yes. Some people check out Xamarin if you want to do development with iOS. I think I missed something that's important. Oh, how could I miss this? Oh my God. Real time, like Python. Hello. Real time, like seriously, like that's really important, I find. Especially, and I've seen demos of this where you can have streams come in of data and then work with it, manipulate it in real time, and I've seen demos of that in F#. Powerful. Sorry, Python followers. Okay, so yeah, cross-platform, blah blah blah, multiple projects, yeah, whatever. Code generation of what? C++. Well, okay. I think there's some big advantages here, but Maven, like, okay. Ease of use, Ajax, this is all believe web stuff. So, I think these are the advantages, the ones in blue. I don't really care about JVM. API is important, good. Community driven, yeah, I'll give them that. Dynamic typing, machine code generation, that's easy to get around. Okay, so that is why I'm in conflict. So it doesn't mean I hate Python, but I mean this link right here just made me go, oh my God, is it really worth investigating or even pursuing Python? I don't know. I like Python, no different than R. It has its pros and cons, but just wanted to give you what's in my head regarding it with something like F# or other languages. But I just wanted to put that out to people. Let me know what you think. I want to encourage this kind of dialogue, like what you think of the advantages of both, and especially when it comes to quant trading. I'll put all these links in so people can, reflect and let me know. Good or bad, man, it don't matter. I want to learn. I want to know what people are doing with Python in the world of trading, quant, and algorithm development. It's important. We got thousands of you. Tell me, comment away, and again, I'm going to put that here, and I encourage you. You can put all this BS stuff here. I don't care. I just want to know your opinion. I encourage you to do it. And I've also got, this I'll put in. This where is it? I've got a running set of yes, this is the link I wanted to show. This is the running link I'm using of the cool stuff I see in Python. Whoever it's from this Enthought, from Microsoft here. So yeah, I'm maintaining some cool stuff that pertains to algo development. So I'm highly encouraging people. Please come to this link. Let me know what you think. I want to open it up, and let me know what you think, especially about this link and your thoughts. F# versus the Python debate in this day and age, and the growth of it against Python, because I think within a year, a lot of people will be talking about F#. I may be one of them. I don't know, but let me know. And let me know your thoughts on these tools from Microsoft, Iron Python, and this Python tools for Visual Studio. Okay, hopefully I'll help you out. Talk to you soon. I'll be talking about something else in another video about math and my opinions of algorithm development for trading strategies and models. Okay, talk to you later.